question 714, which is titled Justifying Triangle Congruence, and we're going to be using flowcharts just like we did yesterday. We're going to be answering the question, are the triangles congruent? So question 743 says, for each pair of triangles below, determine if the two triangles are congruent. If they are congruent, provide justification by organizing your work in a flowchart. If the triangles are not congruent or there is not enough information to determine congruence, you're going to write cannot be determined. All right, for part A, it says, or we've got these two triangles. We've got triangle JKL, and I determined the measure of the third angle by starting with 180 degrees, subtracting the two angles that I know, and determined that it's 95, which matches up with this 95. The 56 matches up with this 56. That means the 29's got to match up with the 29. And so I've got angle, 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 but angle, angle, angle does not work. Okay? Cannot be determined. They possibly could be congruent, but we need more information. Okay? Part B. So for part B, we're going to look at these two triangles right here. It looks like we have just one triangle, but because it's has this shared side down the middle, there's actually a top triangle and a bottom triangle. So the first thing I'm going to look at is this little box. What does the little box mean? 90 degrees. So we're going to say that angle BDA is 90 degrees. And we're going to say that angle BDC is 90 degrees. Both of those pieces of information are given. Okay? Given because of the little box. All right? If they're both 90 degrees, then guess what? They're congruent to each other. All right? The other information that we've got is this little arc mark with a tick on it and an arc mark with a tick on it. The arc marks with the tick on them means that they are congruent to each other. So we're going to say that angle ABD is congruent to angle CBD. And that's given because of the arc marks. Okay? The third piece of information that we've got is this shared side right here. So believe it or not, we're going to say that BD is congruent to itself. So BD is congruent to BD. I know it seems obvious, but you do have to write it down. BD is congruent to BD. And there's several reasons why. There's something called the reflexive property. That information is given to us. Or you could just write that it's a shared side. Okay? Once we've got all three pieces of information, we need to say, is that enough to say that the two triangles are congruent? We're going to say, yes, they are congruent. And then we need to decide if that side is after or in between. So if we've got the right angles right here and the other marked angles right here, that side is in between them. So I'm going to say angle side angle, put that S in the middle. So it's angle side angle congruence. Okay, so triangle BDA is going to be congruent to triangle BDC. Part C, we're going to skip. I'm going to move this up, and then we're going to go to the next page. If you can, if you're still writing, you'll be able to see it in just a second. There it is. All right. On the next page, we're going to look at the one on the left first. So the one on the left, we've got this side marked with 6 units, this side marked with 6 units, so that's a side. And we've got angle DCE congruent to angle ACB. Then we have a 4 right here, but we don't have any measurements over here. So we have a side and an angle. Is a side and an angle enough information? No. So you just say, cannot be determined. We don't have enough information. We need at least 2 angles, and we only have 1. Okay. All right. Part E. We've got two triangles. I'm going to refer to this left triangle that's outlined with DAB, and to the right triangle that's outlined with CBA. Okay, so I'm going to look for congruence marks, which I'm seeing. I've got a double tick here and a double tick here. That means that angle D is congruent to angle C, so that's the first thing I'm going to write down. Angle D is congruent to angle C. Then I've got this shared side. Side AB is part of the triangle on the left, and it's part of the triangle on the right. So I'm going to say that it's congruent to itself. So I said BA is congruent to BA, given, but it's also the reflexive property, or you could say shared side, however you want to write it. Okay? Then there's one more congruence mark right here at angle CAB. Okay? And right here at angle DBA. We've got an arc mark with a tick and an arc mark with a single tick. So those two are congruent to each other as well. And that was given to us. Right? Do we have enough information to prove congruence? Yeah, we've got these two angles and this side. So we just need to decide, is this side between the two angles or after the two angles? So here's this angle, and then this side. This angle, and then this side. So the side is going to come after. This one's congruent by angle side. So we're going to say that triangle CAB is congruent to triangle DBA by angle side. All right, finish copying that down. Then you're going to pull out your Chromebook